when you publish. And I know you spend maybe 3 years on research, but then once you have to tweet, how can you do? You cannot bring me back to the history of your research and give me so much details in one tweet. What you want me is to go to the publication. So maybe to use one infographic, maybe a beautiful, easy, catchy one that catches my attention on a point, maybe the most dangerous data, something that has an impact, no? And then you have the link and I go to the publication. But the first thing that catch my eyes when I'm surfing fast on social media was this infographic. Okay, we go back. So now I would like to go back to the real slide, not like I'm a little monkey. Okay, so we go to the second part. You saw me clicking on. Yes, okay. The second part. So welcome here. Today we are at the IAEE conference. They kindly offered you this training on social media. It will be nice to experiment using this conference. We are all here. Why don't we try as a real case practice to send some output of this conference out to the world. So to help you enter this forum, imagine you are in ancient Greece and there was this forum where we could meet and discuss. Women maybe weren't allowed, but it doesn't matter. And you have this forum. The name of the forum is the hashtag, and I put the hashtag there again, but you saw it everywhere. I hope you can remember now. Actually, here there is even a mistake. So, yeah, mind this one. This slide was too many hashtags, and I just noticed that it was reverted. So please, sorry. So every time you are in a conference, not only today, you will find the organizers, affiliation and names on Twitter. You will find the most important speakers or influencers from this conference on Twitter. So this is a research work that you should do before. And if you want to be really prepared, you can really list these names using the tools you want, but really have all of this, like you have the program with you, you can have all the Twitter handles on a note on your phone or where you prefer. So here I start to do the job for you, but there are many, many more. So you should do it when you want to tweet. So here there is our president, the vice president for communications, one of the speakers, today's speaker, the organizers are all the institutions involved. And why are important? Because if you want to talk to people at this conference, you should, like knock at their online door. So if you mention IAEE, the account, the person managing the account will get a notification for that. So your colleagues as well. And this is a way to say, hi, I'm here, and I'm tweeting maybe something interesting, and people usually care, and we always check what's happening. So maybe you will be retweeted, maybe someone will notice that, you were quite smart in making a point, and from this, other things will come. So this is a practice to remember. Mentions and hashtag. So now, I know you're tired, I'm tired too, but we made all this speech to try to practice now. So I would like to invite you to start to think about your next tweet, and hopefully not only now with me in the classroom, like if I'm your teacher, but this afternoon, this evening, tomorrow, Saturday, and who knows, at your next conference, wherever you are, try to plan your tweet based on what you want to say, why, what you want to do with your tweet. It's your business card, you want to try to promote your paper, you want to fight against another speaker that says something that you couldn't accept. Up to you. This will be the most interesting for me, but if you just want to promote your work, fine. And so think about the audience, and now we know the audience is IAEE followers, so here at the conference and worldwide online. So for this, you come up with your strategy, thinking about what's your style, what you want to say, how. And I will help you for the formats. So I will show you a recap of all the formats you can use so that you don't feel like tabula rasa, what can I do, what can I do. It's easy to spot, to see what you can do. Never forget the hashtag I mentioned. So let's start just to brainstorm together. What can you tweet? I have some ideas for you. You can just reply to one of these questions. So would you like to summarize the intervention of some of the speakers in a tweet? Would you or in a chain of tweet? Would you like to tell us what was the most interesting thing you heard today and why? Or would you like to follow up with any of the speakers? So this, in theory, is 10 minutes to think about that. You can already tweet, but if it helps more, I can before go to this slide, and then we go back, or we stay here, and now is the moment. I will be so happy to see you tweeting for real, and then I will check with the hashtag of the IAEE conference after this workshop. So I hope to see something online. This is a recap. It's very important. So please, if you have questions on that, but let me try. So this format, this list, I prepared this list to let you have a kind of toolkit, no? When you don't know, yeah, please take pictures. This is the most important slide, because sometimes you don't have to be so creative. Solutions are already there. Then you will do it your style. So what you can do on Twitter, you can post a picture of the speaker of the conference with a quote, and if it's really a quote, you really put it's a quote, no? And maybe it was one of the most important insights of the day, whatever. Then you can use a data visualization, so to put an infographics, percentage, number, whatever. You can post a behind the scenes. So we are preparing this at IAEE, now we are before the presentation, like if here, now for instance, I could do a kind of behind the scenes, I will do later, that I'm taking a picture of my audience and saying, oh, how cool I am, there is someone in the room, I'm not alone. So the workshop works. Then you can do a debate on Twitter, we said before, you can start to reply to people commenting with the hashtag, with the mentions, or even post a questions and to launch the discussions. And you can also do this on a Twitter poll form. So you create, then we can see maybe, there is the option poll, and you select your option. So you say, what do you think about this? And 1, 2, 3. And then you can be brief. So then you reshare the results of this poll and you comment. Another thing you can do on Twitter is to use the trendy hashtag of the moment, trending topics. Here it's just an example of generic one that are good for everyone, but maybe you can really focus on electric vehicles and only have this, although it's not a super trendy hashtag, but the hashtag of a conference, hashtag now, I don't know, we have this initiative at FSR, Lights on Women. Now also this is kind of trend, to try to create a platform for women representation in every field is super kind of trendy. Now let's not reduce it to this, right? It's not just a new branding solution, but it's true that trending topics like that might also convey more content. So it's also good to use this kind of hashtag if on climate change there are a lot. So question in the sense you might want to address a question to your audience even when you are promoting a paper, sharing a link. You can ask. So it's like if you are really talking to someone and not going just alone, you can ask why you think this and that regarding a knowledge item you are sharing. You can, of course, publish abstract, summary, executive summary, even just write the summary on Twitter, making bullet points, and then the link to the real source, to the extended version of what you're saying. You can take photos from events, so like we did here today, and when you take a photo of the event, there are people inside the photo. So usually in the conference registration form, you are kind of signing something for privacy consent for pictures. So usually we are all safe when we publish pictures during a conference because someone took care of the legal aspect. So feel free. And if you do, you can. It makes sense that you also reach the people you took a picture with, so you can tag them like in other social media. And in fact, sometimes we want to have a souvenir. It's the informal part of our work, but we want to show that we are here. It's a special network, a very special environment. I've never seen such a beautiful building. So it's normal also to include our environment and the atmosphere of what we do in our Twitter feed. Again, the podcast and video interviews, in case they are super short, they can be directly published on social media. If they are long and more structured, they need some editing and they need to be, before uploading the right channel, I make an example, YouTube or SoundCloud, and then shared on your Twitter, LinkedIn. Okay, and my advice is, what's the best? I don't know. Just choose depending on your need and on your goals and on your style. So this said, do I have another slide for that? No, yeah, this is the last exercise. So before that one, I would like you to start to give just one insights from today. I hope. I mean, it can be also from this workshop. You can say what you learned here, but this is the last exercise. So now it's really important. You heard very important speakers, very important topics. So I hope that now, if under the hashtag of the conference, we could experiment this. So your first practice will be covering this event. And as I said, it would be nice to stay in touch and to continue to cover the event together over the next days. I'm checking. Please, yeah, questions, comments, critics. I don't want to tweet because I don't like this. Whatever. I'm ready.
Was energy Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jean-Michel is it looks like I'm meeting someone or I see people are active, nice.
We can do it with the computer.
Okay, now because I'm honored that I'm on your tweets because I'm in front of you so you can take the pictures, but don't remember that among the format there is also the format simply write hashtag and convey your content. So I would like you to try, maybe I can put the program here to remind you, I would like you to try to be specific in your field and make a point about today, about what we heard today, which is more difficult because this you will do in the next days directly in real time in front of the speakers. Now it's a posteriori, but I'm sure you didn't forget anything, no? So maybe you just used energy Twitter without the hashtag of the conference, right? Because I couldn't find it. Energy Twitter.
I'm making a reply. Oh.
have a 100 tweet today under the hashtag. Not today. There some today there were already maybe 20. So, but there are 100 tweets out with this hashtag. So today they're coming from this conference. So maybe I go on Twitter. No, but this you need the chart. You did a poll, Jean-Michel did a poll, you cannot answer.
I didn't do anything, I am seated like a kid. I'm quiet.
I replied.
I'm smiling.
Okay, now it's between mine. What have you done?
Well, I'm trying to log in. It's not showing anything yet, so.
Okay, I learned that I move my hands like an Italian, but from these pictures. So, any new tweets on energy from this room?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, let me check again. Connection sometimes. Recent. Okay, so one. So you are Andrei.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nittel and Jacquard got me thinking climate change requires immediate action, but finding the optimal solution takes time. Is it okay to settle for the second best option if the optimum seems too difficult to achieve? Hashtag of the conference, energy Twitter. Congrats, it's a very good tweet. So he mentioned the two speakers and is reflecting on today's session. So actually you are winning the best tweet because the others were more on the, no, they're super funny and I know that me with my moving it's really, but yeah, they're all super nice, but that was the only one on the conference, so. I'm part of the conference, but it's like the black sheep, no? So I would like you to use these tools to really now enter your field. And I will be so proud of you one day when I see that you have 3,000 followers.
So Andrei got the prize.
Yes.
Yes.
Congrats.
I mean, we're still here.
I agree.
We have an extra drink ticket for you.
Congrats. Congrats to Andrei.
You still have 20 minutes though.
So yeah, this you did already perfectly. No, I don't need more because you clearly reported this workshop to social media, so thanks so much. Okay, just.
So I have a question.
Yes.
I mean, and this has always I have struggled with Twitter because of this. Timing is very important on Twitter. If you put a tweet and at 2 a.m. By the time that you wake up, or because of the time differences, you will be lost. No. So do you have any suggestion on what days and what time to tweet?
Um,
Because I mean, unless you are, I don't know, if you have thousands of followers, that Twitter puts your tweet back
Exactly,
again.
so that you become
in the
popular.
lost-
No, it's not
No?
our case.
Yeah.
So I understand it can get lost. Yes.
Yes.
One tip is to consider in every social media to have a look at the native stats your social media has. So also Twitter has, so you can see the report of your month, of your week, and you can see the curve of engagement. So based on that, you can plan what's the best moment for you and your audience to post. For you, because of your audience. In general, of course, you can avoid weekends, you can avoid sometimes, but in case of a global audience, this is not so obvious anymore because your 2 a.m. Maybe is a good time in another part of the world, and maybe is a part of the world you're also interested in. So in general, timing is important, also in another sense, because when we are here and we are like tweeting the conference, of course, as I told you, the advice is to produce a good tweet, to be relevant, compelling, but if the speaker is talking now and other people, your kind of Twitter competitors are tweeting now, if you want to craft your tweet and you publish it when you're in your bed tonight, yes, I'm sure then it will be better, but that's the timing that you really need to tackle, no? So it's like to be journalist. We are all journalists on Twitter, so yes, you have to be good, and if you're a good journalist, you are, because of your approach, because you're fast, but you also need to do it now if it's a conference.
And is it best to put an original tweet, a reply, or a retweet with a comment?
Sorry?
I mean, is it best to put an original tweet, I mean, from zero,
Mm?
and maybe you put some hashtags or whatever,
Then to
or,
reply.
or a reply to a tweet from,
It depends.
or a retweet with a comment?
Okay, well, it depends, but in general, a retweet, to link the tweet of someone else, maybe more important than you, with a comment is even more rich than just your single tweet. And maybe it can reach the persons you are linking and also other persons you mentioned to make them see this tweet and to hear your comment. So in principle, this is a very nice one, but then the simple mentioning someone in your post has to be done carefully, has to be done not at the beginning of the post, because otherwise it gets into the retweets, and so it doesn't have the same impact of you simply posting your tweet. In this case, it's better you simply post. And then sometimes to simply reply and comments to other tweets without even bringing them to your profile, as you said, linking, is even better, because if you comment to someone who is really, really important and you are able to make the sharp comment at the right moment, sometimes that's the best thing, and you will start to have so many followers just for this reply to the good thread. But how can I say, it depends on all this context. Okay, so I will be kind of done. And I have a couple of backup slides which I would prefer not to use, because I know I already am throwing lots of meat there, but because I wasn't sure at the beginning on how to structure this workshop, which approach, which channels to choose. Your feedback now would be really valuable for me. I cannot pay you, but really I would appreciate so much. So a way you can share your feedback is also simply asking me which topics would you like to cover in these, 10 minutes left. So you tell me which points I missed, that for you when you enter this room were your expectations, in fact. So I won't cry if you tell me, today I was expecting hard marketing on Instagram, but at least I know, and next time I can do better, no? Yeah?
So for me, the major takeaway is to think more about the objective of what I actually want to achieve with my tweets.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So this,
Thanks.
yeah, not only
Even only that for me,
retweeting
it's
or whatever, but,
a
yeah.
success.
So there should always be a point to it, and if there's no point to it, then
Then just
let it be.
yeah, go grab a coffee and let's see. Okay, thank you. Yes.
For me, the main takeaway is to create a professional Twitter account of myself. and not to combine the personal with
Yeah.
a little bit of energy and a little bit of trips and a little bit of family. You know, it's like
Yeah.
you lose focus and all this.
Yeah, and then, yeah, I agree. And also, it's better for if you care about your privacy. I don't, but like it's also important not to keep it
Yeah.
clean and avoid all the. Yeah, okay, nice. So you start today because tomorrow you have to live tweet to the conference. So you can, during the dinner you can. Yeah, I mean this part of the dinner is also still like on the Instagram stories. Something like our dinner today makes perfectly sense. Even if we are a professional network, I mean we like to have a toast together, and it's nice to share. In Argentina, we share the pictures of the. At the dinner there was this tango show for us, and it's something beautiful. No, we are there for an energy conference, but we appreciate and enjoy the culture of the place where we are. So that's also I encourage this as well.
At a technical point, if in our profile we mention another account, Twitter account, if somebody mentions our name in its tweet, is there a notification to the one who is in the profile?
Yes, so you were asking if, for instance, me in my Twitter post I mention you.
FSR or FSR?
Yes, also FSR is our institutional account, yes.
Okay, you mentioned that, and if I tweet only your name, will FSR receive notification?
No, because they're not connected, no, they won't. So the way for FSR to control me is to go on my profile and check my tweets and tweets and retweets, yeah. But we have FSR, we are quite anarchist, we don't care until something will happen. We are, no, yes, good point. I never thought about, but no. Because, yeah, maybe on Google Scholar you track the name of the person, and you're also, I track Jean-Michel, and I get these emails every day when they, but in fact on Twitter there's no such a way. The way is to type my name and do it.
And also there are some accounts which are verified. Verified with a check, small check.
Yes, it's like official one.
Yes. So what is it necessary for the IAEA to be verified?
It's a good practice. It requires some admin process and a number of followers. So we even still have to manage to have for your account, but it's something, for instance, for people, important people that start to have a high number of followers, it's something advisable to do because you risk it happened with you, a fake Facebook account using his name. So that's the reason why there are, so if you are Leonardo DiCaprio, it's very important that only one. So with the association as well, as soon as the numbers are higher, we should apply for it. So it's something, a process to apply for and they have to give you. So it's not so straightforward, and normal people with 3 followers, they can't. Yes.
So if I follow you, basically what I'm thinking about is if I want to be able to see everything that you, for example, say, if I follow you, will every comment from you appear on my feed, or do I still have to go look explicitly at your?
Yeah, both.
Both?
In theory, I'm there, yeah, but because maybe I'm not popular in your feed, I tend to disappear. So you will see one, and you won't see all of my. But and then by following me, it will be easier for you to find me again every time in your search box. And also because we follow each other, we are able to message us privately, so it's still much more convenient to have. Then depending on which channels, you can decide, like I use this often on Facebook because there I have so many people, I hide some of them, and I click on having more notifications from these persons. Like you create list of interests, so the persons you are more interested in, you always find them. And those who are not, you start to switch off the notification and hide them from the home.
I know that in Facebook you can go so far as to categorize and then say, I don't want, I'll post something and let's say it's something a little bit, not so professional. Well, I don't want it to go to my professional people in this list, but I want it to go to my friends. So,
But also, it's not only made in these terms of circles of privacy, but also in terms of really the updates you want. Because also Facebook now knows that we are not only following like families or colleagues, but we are following webzines, institutions, or whatever. So there is a way to filter better your home. Okay, you have to spend some time in doing, but yeah, it's technically possible to see more what you need. Otherwise, the social media chooses for you, and it's not always the best choice what they make. So you tend to, some accounts disappear and others are always there, and you don't understand why. Yes?
I think one point you didn't mention, but it's also not so relevant for today, is social media as a tool for like democratizing knowledge and like this open source community transparency, like what happened with the Arab Spring, but also scientific knowledge to really bring it up to the front. Instead, before it was more behind closed doors. Let's say.
Yes. Yes, good point. It's true. We didn't highlight and stress enough. So it's one point is it's important. It's an important aspect of social media to make knowledge accessible and available online, so that really it increases the access. Then we need to distinguish, because there is still something that is private as a private publication. So what we do in social media in this case is a kind of promotion, opening up some of the chapters, some of the things, but even with the paid journals, newspapers, it's like that. So there is all what is open access in science should be easily found on social media as well, just as a mission, just for ethics, because it makes sense. It's just a way to increase access, like we increase mobile access for people to enter a room. So it's really an ethical thing. But then another issue is sometimes, what is private for some reason, it is not in Creative Commons, it cannot be shared. We cannot violate, we have to respect all the privacy rights and constraints of any kind of publications or event or whatever. So, okay, it's democratic, another point you made. Democratic, yes, but in this, it's the same problem of democracy today. So, one thing is to be as democratic as Twitter, that then, as Facebook, that then turns into a repository of fake news and bad demagogy. And another thing is being democratic in the sense, and we saw the example on Twitter, in the sense that social media can allow you a peer-to-peer, flat conversation with no hierarchy. So you can be at the bottom of a hierarchy in business, in the career, and be really able to discuss in a flat way. So this is the good side. The bad side is that this democracy that then is not a democracy is those who make more noise win, and because social media are structured on they're money based, and this is not something we can hide. To make found yourself is also it costs. So this kind of workshop and this approach are made for you to really share knowledge without paying to be better ranked, without marketing. In fact, it's just because you are a niche. You are lucky that in the energy, it's the kind of a niche, so you can really make yourself visible to your audience that is genuinely interested, instead of paying for views. But it's true that if you don't pay, you don't get the same. Tim, did I address your point? I'm not sure anymore. Yeah. Okay. At the end. So any last feedback or conclusion? Because I don't have any conclusion. So if you have, no, me neither. Okay, it's fine.
A great session. Yeah.
Thank you. So thank you very much. Yes. Okay, that's my last slide. I'm sorry. So thank you very much. Also on behalf of the association who kindly hosted me today and trusting me for doing that. So I really hope that in the next days you will be one of our ambassadors. I'm also trying to do so during the conference. So I would just like to remind you that IAEE is now on social media. It has a purpose for doing that. It has a mission, and so these are the channels where you can join the discussion with our association from the top to the bottom with everyone involved. And of course, that's the hashtag for today.
What is the last thing?
What? It's an icon for a website. So it's the website of IAEE. Yeah, it's always changing. This is the so it's an icon for link, like a chain.